We're going to start at denofgeek.com and a story by Alejandro Rojas entitled Why the Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch Don't Stay on Skinwalker Ranch. According to the owner and the lead investigator of Skinwalker Ranch, phenomena from the paranormal hotspot have followed researchers home. The history of Skinwalker Ranch, or history's secret of Skinwalker Ranch, rather, features ongoing investigations into one of the country's most mysterious locales. The titular ranch allegedly experiences paranormal activity regularly, from UFOs and cattle mutilations to incarnate voices and poltergeists, and sometimes several at the same time. Strange occurrences on the ranch have been the focus of several scientific investigations, including from a secretive program housed in the Pentagon. What is not well known is that some investigators claim the paranormal phenomena follow them home. Brendan Frugel, the elusive owner of Skinwalker Ranch, spoke with Den of Geek about what happens at Skinwalker Ranch. Doesn't always stay there. Frugel is a prominent businessman and real estate developer in Utah. He first heard about the ranch at a local bookstore. Frugel says, the ranch was first brought to my attention when I was at Barnes & Noble back in 2006 and saw Dr. Colm Kelleher and George Knapp's book, Hunt for the Skinwalker, on the shelf. I actually bought it and read it on the weekend. I found it to be very interesting. Frugel says he didn't think much more about the ranch until 2015, when two science advisors of another Utah real estate magnate, Robert Bigelow, approached him. Bigelow, who also founded Bigelow Aerospace, had been funding scientific investigation on the ranch since he purchased it in the late 90s. Kelleher was Bigelow's lead investigator. Frugel says he had developed a relationship with the two science advisors during another effort that I had been involved with a decade ago. According to Frugel, the advisors asked him whether I'd be willing to entertain a potential joint venture or acquisition of the property for the purpose of advancing research beyond what Mr. Bigelow had done for 20 years. Frugel says I disclosed to them that I was approaching the topic as a healthy skeptic and that I'd never seen a UFO, a ghost, or anything of the sort, and that I believed that there was most likely a natural prosaic explanation for what had been reported in the book and on the property. They were amused and shared with me the reality of what their investigation revealed. They also disclosed that the ranch had been part of a 5-year Pentagon black-budget program studying the UFO phenomenon, and that although the results of this investigation remain classified and confidential, the phenomenon is real. Frugel says he is no longer skeptical that something mysterious is happening at the ranch. He says, people ask me all the time whether I am now a believer, based on what we have seen and recorded during my ownership of the ranch. The honest, most direct answer I can provide is that I am not a believer. I am an experiencer. I know for a fact that it is real, and I have witnessed it with my own eyes, with other credible witnesses at my side. What can only be described as daylight sightings of exotic craft over Skinwalker Ranch. Frugel's paranormal experience started soon after his research on the ranch began. 6 months into our investigation, I had an experience while entertaining a visiting dignitary and his security detail that involved an undeniable sighting of what can only be described as a 40 to 50 foot long, silver grayish disc-like object that performed maneuvers that were stunning and defy conventional explanation. Frugel stressed that this sighting was in broad daylight and included several witnesses. He says that after the sighting, they continued to experience paranormal phenomena. He says during that same afternoon, we experienced everything from our smartphones being completely drained from about an 80% charge to zero, to other electromagnetic anomalies, even acute medical episodes that attended the incidents occurring on that fateful day. Anyone who watches The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch or has read the book Hunt for the Skinwalker, Science Confronts the Unexplained at a Remote Ranch in Utah, will know that many of those who investigate the ranch have had personal experiences with the unknown. "I have been covering the ranch for over a decade," writes the author, "and at an event with investigators and their spouses, I discovered they believe the phenomenon often follows them home. So much so now that they refer to this as the hitchhiker phenomenon." Lead investigator on The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Dr. Travis Taylor, told Den of Geek in a recent live stream interview, "We don't like to talk about the hitchhiker too much because everybody's afraid we're going to trigger it or something. I have several colleagues that were putting instruments out to measure things at the house, or at their own house, at their own houses, as well as at the ranch. And we're measuring simultaneous events occurring at both places. They may be 1,000 miles apart. It just happened to me," says Taylor. "My brand new car. So it just shuts off suddenly, and all the lights start blinking on and off and crazy, which we've seen happen at the ranch. And something was going on at the same time at the ranch. I had an event, actually, that'll be in this season of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Not a paid promotion. I won't talk too much about it for the spoilers." Google says he is aware of the hitchhiker phenomenon, but has not experienced it himself. "Thankfully, I've not had that experience." Wait a minute. They don't give us an example besides the car. That's about it, huh? Isn't that special? "I have not had that experience personally, but I do know members of my team and visitors have had that experience." You'd think you'd get more than one example, though. "Strange activity following them home and even terrorizing their families. It's a known fact that numerous participants, including military operatives, refuse to ever set foot on the property again due to the negative experiences they have had, including phenomena following them home. Of which we give one example here. My words. Even Mr. Bigelow has had experiences that have followed him, resulting in his refusal to ever visit the property ever again." So the guy that was there for 20 years, Mr. Bigelow, finally gave up and stayed away, huh? Let's look at some art.